Okay, just updated the momentum theory indicator. Gonna go over the changes. First of all, change the name. It's now momentum theory based off the strategy name, no longer no hype. Um, gonna turn off all the visualizers and go over everything. Okay, so here's how it looks like without anything on. Um, Momentum bars are these yellow bars here. That's when the breakout level gets flipped. Whenever I see that flip of a breakout level, that tells me that we're at a swing point, and that's what these momentum bars do. They tell me that we're at a swing point on the M15 and that price is reversing direction. Um, so that's that. Something I've changed about this is I used to not have these momentum bars show whenever there's a range. So here's an inside bar, creates a range. I didn't like to see these before, but now I have them. Reason why is that I like to see these in the higher time frames now. So like this is the M15, but if this were the daily time frame, basically this tells me that the last breakout level gets flipped, and then I'm looking to take high of the day sells, continuing the move down. And so previously, I only saw that when prices in a trend, and then I didn't have it in ranges because I don't like trading ranges. But now I have them everywhere. So that's the only change with the momentum bars. Everything else is exactly the same. Fake out bars are still the same. These white bars faking out the previous high and closing inside the previous bar's range. Um, So here's a fake out of a previous high and then close below the previous low. That's a breakout bar. Fake out bars are when the previous high gets faked out and it closes inside that range. So that's still the same. Um, so I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a different shade of these backgrounds. There's a lighter shade, and these are just when two markets are open at the same time. And so for me, I trade momentum, and with momentum, I always need lots of volume. And so highest probability of lots of volume is when two markets open at the same time. So these are my Asia session, which is Tokyo and Sydney are open. London session is London and Tokyo. And then New York session is London and New York. Most of the time, you'll notice that the high of the day and the low of the day are usually put in place during those sessions. And that's why it's significant times for me to be trading when two markets are open. Um, these arrows here, these arrows are when my entry criteria have been met. So I need to have the momentum time frame fake out or breakout, and then alignment of the direction and confirmation time frames. When I have that, that's when I get these arrows on my charts. The white ones are when we're in a session time, when two markets open, and then these gray ones are when we're off session. So I always want to be trading when we're these white arrows during the session times. Then you can toggle all these on and off in the style tab. Just turn off all these things if you want to turn them on, off. Intraday sessions, they only show up in 30 minutes and below. They don't show up 1 hour and above. Everything else, yeah, you can just have a look. If you don't want them on, just turn them off. There's also boxes, labels, lines, and tables. I don't have any of them on right now since I turned off all of them. But yeah, just toggle things on and off with everything on. You'll see what it does. Okay, so key levels. So I did update the key levels. Key levels previously just saw the daily and the weekly levels, but now I also want to see the monthly levels as well. Previous month high, month breakout low. So I have that directly on this chart as well. Other thing that I've changed is the momentum time frame. I have the range for that, the H8 range high and range low. Previously, I just had the M15 as well as the H1, but now I also want to see the higher time frame, momentum time frame range as well. So I got that, and then the last thing I changed with the key levels are the breakout level color. Reason why is when I'm zoomed out, it's easier to differentiate when the color is different. So previously it was the same color as the previous day low and previous day high. Now I can clearly see the breakout levels without really having to look for them. So that's what's changed with this. Nothing else. Everything is still standard. Peak bias. It used to be called higher time frame traders or other time frame traders, but now I'm calling it peak bias. Peak bias, basically on the daily, my momentum time frame is H8 and H4. H8 is the ideal one. These solid lines here are the H8 peaks being triggered. The dotted ones are the H4, and these dashed ones are the H8 breakout levels. So whenever I see a dashed line, I know that's the H8 breakout level, and those are pretty significant. Overall bullish above, overall bearish below. Something else that I've changed is that when the peak hasn't been triggered, I also see the previous H8 high and low right on the chart. So previously, I did not see that, so I would have to go to the H8 time frame and mark them off. But now I have it directly on the M15, and so it's a bit easier, just a bit quicker to analyze. So that's that peak bias, and then breakout bias. Breakout bias used to be called trend. So I now changed them to correspond to the terms that I use in my videos: peak bias and breakout bias. Breakout bias basically are the breakout levels. Um, so now when you hover over them, you can see whether it's a H8 breakout high or breakout low. Um, and green if it's bullish, red if it's bearish. This white one here tells me that the H4 breakout level's been flipped. So this is an H4 breakout low. We're trading below it, and then now we're above it. So this becomes a possible swing point. So that's why it's in white, so I can see that clearly. This solid line over here, this is an M15 breakout level. It's red when it's bearish, and then green when it's bullish. Um, so here there's a breakout bar, bearish breakout bar. So you see that line that corresponds to that. You have a bullish one here, but there's no line here with that breakout level, and it's because it did not take out the last bearish one. This market is still bearish at this point until that last bearish one gets taken out with a bullish one. Even though this is a bullish breakout bar, it did not close above the bearish one. So these yellow bars over here, you can see that when they have a breakout bar above that line, this is when it flips bias. And that's what those yellow bars are in relation to that breakout level. This shaded green here, the shaded color on the side here, this shows the higher time frame breakout level. So previously it showed the M15 breakout longs and shorts, but now I'm changing it to the higher time frame H1. So when I'm trading, I always want H1 and M15 alignment. So right now, instead of having the M15 shown in all this, I'm having the M15 as just a solid line, and then the H1 as this shaded version. So you can see here the M15 turned bullish above this breakout level, but it's still bearish on the H1. Here again, every time the M15 switches, flips that bias, it still doesn't get going until it gets below that H1 breakout level. And so a lot of times whenever you see these breakout levels flip, when you have both M15 and H1 at the same time, here's the H1, you'll see a stronger move. So again, here's another H1 when both of them are the same direction. Here again. So a lot of times whenever that happens, those are usually when bigger moves occur. So that's the change on the breakout bias. Basically, this shaded one is now the H1 rather than M15 longs and shorts. And that's it. Nothing else to say about breakout bias. Short codes basically is exactly the same as before. Did not change that. It's basically just tells me a quick way to read the market for me. So the top one here is always going to be the setup time frame. So in this case, it's a daily. And then the bottom one is the ideal momentum time frame, which is the H8. So the way I use this, I can quickly read how the market is moving. I don't even need to see the chart. I can just see. So daily close inside bar, daily close breakout bar, breakout bar. Here I can see that there were three shorts, 3 8-hour sessions shorting, and then one reversal. So this is a possible breakout reversal move coming back up. Fake bearish bullish fake out. This out means that it faked out the previous high, faked out the previous low, and then closed inside. Bearish breakout, faked out the low, and then continued on down. And then 2 sessions ago closed as an inside bar, and then it faked out the high of that inside bar. And so this is just for me to quickly read the market without having to go into those particular specific time frames. So that hasn't changed, and that's how I use it, just so I can have a quick read on the market. One big change I made is this analysis. So let me let this load. So the loading time has increased because I've added a bit of code to it, but I think that the increase is justified because I get a lot of information, really useful stuff, and I'll go over them. This is still similar to the last one. We have the time frame breakout levels: monthly, weekly, daily, H8, H4, and H1. It's red when it's bearish. So here's the daily breakout level. Here's the daily breakout level, and we're bearish. We're below it, so that's why it's in red. The high and the low hasn't been triggered yet, and this is why there's no. It hasn't lit up, and it's because the previous day high and previous day low hasn't been touched, and that's why there's no trigger there. You can see here on the weekly. So I'll go to the weekly on the here the weekly. I can quickly see it's white, and that means that the breakout levels got flipped. Here's the last breakout level, broke out, we flipped it, and so this tells me that there's a swing point here, and that this icon here is a mountain, so that creates a peak formation. So that's just a quick visual cue to know that there's a swing point. The bottom here is faked out the low. Since it's lit up at the bottom here, it triggered the previous week low, and it's green, so it means that it's above that previous week low level. And then the final one here at the bottom here tells me that the last previous bar closed as a breakout bar. Not the current one, but the previous one, a bullish breakout. That's exactly what it did. So again, these are quick ways for me to read the market on all time frames, and I can see that all in one time frame. Last thing that it gives you, the information, is when you hover over it, it tells you what the cycle it is. So yeah, it gives you the cycle and some information, and I also have it here at the bottom. So on the so it's the exact same thing at the bottom right here. It's the day break, the day cycle as well as the H8, and then the left side are the higher time frames, month and week. So in this case, it gives you some information, tells me that the previous day low has broken out. Price broke out of the range. It's making a bearish push. It's not confirmed until the day closes. H8 breakout continuation. Previous H8 high fake out below the H8 breakout low. Peak isn't locked in, and price is still continuing its bearish move. So H8 is in breakout continuation. Here's the H8 breakout level, and it faked out the previous H8 high, and that's a breakout continuation cycle. So here's we're below that breakout low, faking out a high below that level is a breakout continuation, and so H8 is in breakout continuation, and that's what it tells me. And then I've added some more analysis here. First, we have the trend analysis. Basically, every time I start a video, I always look at these breakout levels, monthly, weekly, daily, and I look at the peak bias month and the week. Down here, it's hidden away over here, the peak week low. And then I decide whether I'm bearish or bullish based off the majority of these levels. And so now I have it all over here. It's all calculated. So 70% of the breakout bias and peak bias are bearish, 20% are bullish. It looks at things like the bar direction as well. The weekly bar, the open, the monthly, weekly, and daily bar opens, just to see whether they're bullish or bearish at the current moment. And yeah, so I have all that information. Tells me if I'm in a range there. So it tells me that there's an active range on the monthly. So I got to be careful about that. I can see it on the chart as well, month range high, month range low. And then at the bottom there, best trade setups are sells. And with a 70% win rate, I'm looking to trade at least 0.4 R to be break even. And then if I want to take counter trend buys, there's a 20% confluence with the bullish bias. Um, and so if I'm going to have a win rate with 20%, I need to be targeting at least 4R. So basically, it just tells me if I'm going to go counter trend, what I should be targeting and stuff like that. So this is a quick way to tell me that the market is bearish, 70% bearish, and I'm be best trade setups are sells. The next one here is the levels analysis on the daily. So it tells me the everything I need to know about the daily, the cycle, what it's doing, and then it tells me all the relevant levels that have been triggered. So on the daily, I'm looking at the weekly as the higher time frame, and then I'm looking at daily H8 and H4, analyzing all those levels. So I can see that 42.9% of the levels are bullish, 57% are bearish, and then there's a range on the H8 and H4. I also see that we're off session, so it's no longer New York session. I shouldn't be taking any trades right now. I'm not trading, but just as an example. So like let's say I'm taking a sell, it'll tell me that the previous week low is still bullish, and then I can see right here that the previous week low is bullish. And so if I'm taking a sell like from up here, which is my session time, I would know that the previous week low and the daily open were still bullish at the time, and so I have to be aware of that. So that's just a quick like warning and telling me how the current day is moving. So this is telling me what the higher time frame trends are doing, and this is what's telling me what price action is doing right now. Yep. So that's that. Um, if so, this color at the top and bottom here, the stronger the percentage, the more solid the bar is going to be. So in this case, 50%, I don't see anything, but the closer I get to 100, then you'll see that it gets stronger. And so this is just a visual cue. I'm a visual thinker, and so I like to see lots of visual cues whenever I do things. And so these just tell me um, how strong the trends are. And then final thing is this lightning bolt thing. So this tells me when a particular cycle is set up. So in this case, the day breakout has a setup, and the reason why it's set up is because there's a previous H4 high fake out. So we're in a breakout cycle on the daily, and then this is a valid setup for me to take because it's just triggered that H4 high. There's no entry right now, but it's just basically just telling me that this is set up and this is something that I can probably look for. So these are only going to show best trade setups. They're not going to show anything else but fake outs, previous H4 and H8 high fake outs. And because best trades are always going to be at swing points, and going from a high to a low are always going to be at swing points. So yeah, so that's what they show. If there's no setups, there's no lightning bolt there. But if there are setups, then I'll see the lightning bolt. So on the case of GBP USD, I can see that on the top there is a month trend reversal. Breakout of a previous month low below the month breakout high confirms the swing point, and it starts a new bearish trend. So previously I called this a trend breakout, but now I'm only using trend breakout if it's above here. When it fakes out that peak and then closes below, and then breaks out below that low, I'm calling this a trend reversal now. So I can see it straight on the monthly levels here. We have the monthly breakout level here. We broke out, got below that breakout level. That's a false breakout. And then breaking out of the previous month low is a trend reversal. So what that setup is telling me right here, it's telling me that the monthly is in a trend reversal, and it's now primed for me to take a move because the previous day highs got faked out. On monthly setups, my time frame, my momentum time frame, monthly setups, my momentum time frame is a weekly. That's the ideal one, but daily is also I'm okay taking trades off daily as well. So in this case, it's a trend reversal, and it's pulled back up and faked out the previous day high, and so this is a valid trade for me to take. Monthly levels, my confirmation time frame is the H4, but I can also execute on the H1 or M15 if I want to. So Same thing. How like if I take M15 trades, I can execute on the M5 or M1. I can take H4 trades on the M15 or M5 or H1 or M15. So normally I could wait for this H4 bar, or if I want to get it in aggressively, I could get in on the M15 after that fake out of the previous day high. And then I can see on the weekly there's a weak trend breakout, and the reason why it's a setup is because the previous day high got fake out as well as the previous H8 high. So over here I can see that we have the underneath that weak breakout low, and we've broken out the previous week low. So this is a low going lower, so meaning that the peak isn't locked in yet, and I would expect a move to continue on down to the low of the week. So in this case, it tells me that the week is in trend breakout and it's faked out the previous day high as well as previous H8 high. And so this is a setup for me to take it down if I want to. So again, can enter on the M15 or the M5 and take this trade down. Final one here is day fake out retracement. You can see that there's a warning sign there. Reason why there's a warning sign, I've said it in a lot of videos, is that this fake out retracement setup is the one that take most losses in. It's because I'm usually wanting to trade it all the way back to that peak, but it usually just wants to stay right at that breakout level. So I just had that warning sign just to let me know that I have to be careful about that. In the description, it tells me the expectation is a pullback to the breakout level, which is right above a bullish peak formation. So here I can see that we've broken out of that previous day low and then got back up. That's a false breakout. And then faking out the previous day high above that breakout level is a fake out retracement. So looking to take this one down. And the reason why it's set up is because it faked out the previous H8 high, which means that it is okay for me to take a sell on this down to that breakout level. Um, Yeah, so this thing has been really useful for me. Again, like I said, when there's no setups, no valid ones, there's no lightning bolt. So this is a really quick way for me to do my watch list nowadays. I can just flip through different pairs. I can go through all the pairs really quickly, and I already know that there's no setup unless I get one of these lightning bolts. So this is something I'm going to be exploring a lot more in the next couple of weeks. I might even make a new indicator just based on this. Um, right now, this is just limited to looking at Euro USD, but I'm developing one that I can kind of look through the entire market and just have it on one chart and just just have that on one window, and I don't need to flip through anything. I can just follow what this says. But as of right now, I'm still collecting data on this. It's only showing fake outs at the moment, but I'm also planning on putting in breakout setups. Best breakout setups that I'm finding are the ones that happen after or right at these um, swing points. Whenever this false breakout happens on a higher time frame, if you can get in the lower time frame and find a breakout trade on that, those tend to be the best ones. Breaking out underneath the higher time frame flip of a breakout level. But again, these are all things that I'm just monitoring, and I might make some rules about it. But as of right now, nothing yet. So again, flipping that swing point and then looking for a breakout trade on the lower time frames. And yeah, so I'm finding that those are the best breakout trades, and I might add that into this. But right now, I'm still collecting data. Yeah, so that's it with that. Nothing else new. Last thing is the alerts. Basically, these alerts you can just go through them here. Shows trigger bars, momentum bars, breakout bars, and you can highlight to see which ones that they show. This no hype one, basically, it shows whenever the previous levels get triggered. These H4 highs and the H8 highs get triggered, and then whenever there's a trigger bar, I get a notification about them. So these highlighted backgrounds, these are the this is when you click highlight. debug mode are these labels. So the debug mode tells me these are the alerts that are going to be sent to my phone or in the pop up window. And so in this case, it triggered the H4 high, so I get an alert. Bullish one, M15 bullish triggered previous H4 high. These star ones are at trigger bars, and so yeah, so that's what these alerts do. Um, and confirm is basically is if you want the alert to be instant or not. So like if it touches that H4 high, I'll instantly get the alert. Or if it's set to bar close, I wait until the M15 closes and then I get the alert. So this is a confirmation of the bar close. When the bar closes, it's confirmed. Good. Instant is you don't know if it's going to confirm or not. And yeah, so that's what the alerts are. The way that you use the alerts, go down up here to alert, go to momentum theory, and then any alert function call. And those alerts that I just showed, um, those are the notifications that you'll get. Something else that you can do, also you can go set these to triggers or momentum bars, breakout bias, and fake out bars straight on this window. And so you can, there's more options to choose from. So you can just read how they alert. Um, so what's good about doing it this way is that you can set this really quickly, these settings. And it's much faster than going through these and changing it. And sometimes it's I forget if I've changed one of these and left it like this. So I actually prefer sometimes just to always keep it at the no hype one. And then when I'm taking other alerts, waiting for triggers or momentum bars or something like that, I'll use this method instead. Bad thing about doing this is I don't get much information. I get very limited information. I can't give all the things that I've been that I showed in that other alert mode. And yeah, so that's it about alerts. I think that's all. I've gone through everything here. Oh, one more thing about the analysis one. If you hover over the triggers, it'll give you all the information. The momentum, which timeframes are aligned, swing points, and the confluence. So all this information that you get over here, it also will show up over here. So I can see the confluence, trend analysis, 70%, 60%. So it's basically a snapshot of everything straight onto this. So you can use this for data. At the bottom there, momentum cycles, it even tracks all the momentum cycles and everything. And if there was a best trade setup, that lightning bolt. Yeah, so that's all the new stuff. All this stuff I think is self-explanatory. Breakout bias, momentum bar. These are just change the colors. Opacity changes the opacity of the text. These gray text here, you can make them more opaque or less if you want. Size just changes the size of the text of these labels, the breakout labels, and at the bottom here. And I think that's about it. Yeah. So if you have any questions, just let me know. At some point, I'm planning to set this as a subscription. And so if you have any feedback, just let me know so I can see if I can implement something. And yeah, that's it.